I'm just gonna say before the meeting starts that to remind everybody, this is a business meeting and we are not going to tolerate outbursts. This is your warning. If you can't be quiet, you'll be asked to leave. So just so everybody knows, we gotta be able to hear. So carry on till the meeting starts.
This is the payment for our license. Did you want this first or do you want to wait till then?
You can give it to me now or after the meeting. I just had it on here because we needed to vote to.
Well, okay.
Go ahead.
There are no open council meeting. Approve agenda. Second.
Aye.
Aye.
Approve consent agenda.
I move that we approve. I second.
Question, this is where I gotta say about this.
But yeah, I would say that would be a good.
One thing I have is, it says Black Hills Energy, $1,100 for gas for 1 month at the pool. That don't sound right.
Is that a gas water here?
I think so.
Is that a water?
Would you say you shut that off?
Like 2 or 3 days after we shut down for the year.
Which was just 2 or 3 days ago. Well, we.
No, I mean, when the pool was closed for the season.
Oh,
Sorry.
I think we need to investigate that.
But that is a gas or electric?
Yeah.
The pool heater's gas.
I'll just check with Mary. She'll be gone for a week, and I'll check with her when she
So in the
comes
past,
back.
it's never said pool, like, oh, now all of a sudden we're seeing pool on, that's a whole year, or is that's a month, that seems awful high.
I'll check it out.
I've got
Get
some
back.
questions when he's done.
Okay, go ahead.
Fuel City of Junction, 814 for 1 month.
No, we bought that much from them.
Okay, and then is this that meter thing for 700?
It ain't here yet.
What's this 770? What service pump flow meter repair? Okay, that's
So that's
the
super
sewer.
stuff out there.
And the pool chemicals, we storing a bunch for the winter, $890. Is that what we use for 1 month?
So what we used, the chlorine's empty, got a little bit of acid left.
I mean, the chlorine was bad, it ain't.
It's empty.
Okay. And the road use tax, is that monthly or is that just happen, we got some in there?
Cannot tell you.
$24,563. I just wondered if that was a
I'll
month.
tell you, Mary printed this up. She left at 9 o'clock on Sunday morning and she printed this up right before she left. And so I don't have any idea. We can check with her and report back. That's the best I can do for you.
That's all it is, that ain't much.
No, it's not. People aren't driving.
Okay, that's all I had.
Yeah, and we can check. So Mickey made a motion, Laura seconded it, aye.
Public comment.
Question, complaint forms, we fill them out. Who's supposed to respond to those? Do we know? Does the city
I suppose.
attorney, or what happens there? I know that nobody's going to answer, that's why I'm directing it to the mayor. They're wondering if he would answer, I don't know. Because you guys want us to fill out complaint forms? But then who responds to the complaint forms? Or
I
they
don't know if
just
we
sit
got
on
that
file?
far out with no clerk. Have we fallen? Laura, do you know?
if we get a complaint form and there's something we can do about it, we try and handle it. The complaint forms are filled out, they're put in the white box, they're reviewed, and then I know that we have had some complaint forms, and like 1 or 2 of them have been given to Rod, because it was a Rod ordinance thing, and not just yesterday, but a while back. So that's what I can tell you with a couple of them that I did see.
I mean, I'm just wondering, do you get back to the people who then put in the complaints? Follow a phone call to that person and fill those out? Or do we just?
I've done a couple, I don't do that, I take care of whatever it is. Let's just say, for example, there's a tree down, a tree limb. I'll go out there and I'll pick it up, and then I'll put my notes in there, and then I give it back to the office. And then they file
So my question was, but then on legality, on complaints about legal issues or the way things are done.
I'm the mayor and I don't know. Your certificate was on me, all right?
It's fine. I think something should be done, but that's fine. So where we are.
Well, I mean, have they been read? You guys read them?
The two that I saw, I read, and I knew that there was something that Rod would need to check into. And so I knew it wasn't a me
There's a
thing.
box in there for complaint.
There's the white box out front.
Okay.
We put them in there and, or I don't put them in there, somebody puts them in there.
Basically, I've turned in 3. I have no problem with 2 of them was at the last meeting. One of them was the meeting before that, so I haven't heard anything
So-
back on any of them, so.
So we should have a file.
Oh, yeah, you
in
should.
there.
If not, I've got copies, if you need copies of them, because you, Mr. A said lose them, that's fine. So, that's all.
I will look.
Between me and Jerry, we'll look them over and we'll get back to you.
Appreciate that.
Anybody else? Sure.
I want to ask, does anybody know our burn ban, or can we burn leaves at night?
Where's the meeting?
We can still burn, okay.
I've been told otherwise.
Okay, a little.
Not
And then-
sure when to either.
I just want to say thank you to Mickey and Laura yesterday for helping me out. That was very nice of you guys to work together, figure out where I could get a key to unload my pickup and brush.
No problem.
I know it's sad that when we work through the week, we can't get on the weekends, but I understand the problem.
You absolutely can call me anytime and I'll do what I can do to get it for you.
We all have a key now, right? So
But any council member will have a key.
I didn't have to go just a little while.
I'll be asleep on Sunday afternoon.
You always are, 4 o'clock. And that's when I work. Thank you, guys. Like I say, I appreciate the efforts yesterday, what you guys did for us.
Anybody else?
I want to say thank you for, to Mickey and Jerry for, I don't know if anybody else contributed for the meal they fed us for the fire department last week. That was really good. It was we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Enjoy doing it for you guys.
Thank you.
God seems fun to have them start praising. Old business. Vote on bids to clean up Grundon Property. Madison.
Laura, open it up, see what we got. I went to get it today, but the guy wasn't in, and, so Rod picked it up on his way over here, and his wife.
Okay, there are 3.
The bids are now being sent over to the lawyer, and when it's time for us to go get them, have them for the meeting, we will. We're not gonna have them here. So we don't have any conflict with the problem.
Okay, this one, I'm just gonna read it, because it's a page. To whom it may concern, my husband and I would like to bid on the cleanup of the Grundon property located in Grand Junction. We're willing to dispose, haul off, mow, weed, and et cetera. In return, we would be permitted to keep any scrap metal that may be on the property to help with any fee for hauling off. We would also like to be informed if and when the property comes to be sold, so we may bid on it. That is one.
Can you say who it's from?
No, it doesn't matter who it's from.
Oh,
We're gonna keep you in suspense, Jerry.
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, now we got another one. I would like to make a bid on cleaning up the property in Grand Junction. I will clean it up for all the metal on the property. I would be willing to help the city with the tires in any way I could, if the city is willing to pay the charge for disposing of them. And that cost could be from $300 to $600, depending on how many there are. Or I could put them in a pile and the city can dispose of them. That is number 2 that we have. This one, clean up Grundon Property, pile the old house, remove scrap metal, does not include old tire removal or tree removal of any asbestos or any asbestos removal. Bid good for 30 days, 6 month, in a 30 days, 6 month time frame, $10,000. It will cost us $10,000 to have these people do that. So,
I have a question for number 2. Did it say just cleaning up the scrap metal? Or did it say the whole?
I'd like to make a bid on cleaning up the property, and I will clean it up for all the metal on the property. I'd be willing to help the city with the tires in any way. If the city's willing to that cost and how many there are, I can put them in a pile. That does not necessarily say anything, it just, I'll make a bid on cleaning up the property.
They know the house is included.
I would assume so, just because I wasn't there when this person maybe took a tour of it or whatever, or visited it. So, I wonder if,
Well, the one that said 6 months, I think that one's out.
well, that was the one that wants us, what did you say?
To pay, they will do it for,
10,000.
We'll pay them 10 grand.
yeah, 10 grand plus they get all the scrap metal without any tires or trees or anything like that. And they get 6 months to clean it up in.
I vote no on that.
Me too. Do we need, before we bid on that, do we need?
Vote on it.
Yeah, vote on it, sorry, we're not gonna bid on it. We already got it. Before we vote on that, do we need to talk about some other options if these aren't really what we're wanting to do? I guess, yes.
When you put the ad in the paper, did you have that item down at the bottom to accept or deny all bids, anything like that?
But we don't have to accept any bids that we don't want,
Yeah,
do we?
but that would really seal it, I mean.
Right, I mean, and we may decide that we want to go a totally different direction.
I'd like to see it cleaned up before snow flies.
Well, that probably won't happen.
Technically, shouldn't we go over B before we go finish with A?
Okay,
Kind of-
yeah, that's,
B's kind of the stipulation in the A part about.
Right.
Clean it up. If we need to know.
so
what's
can
gonna
we
happen.
put that on hold and go to,
B, then go back.
yeah, go to B? Can we do that?
I would
Do we gotta make a motion to do that? To hold off on this for a minute and go to B, or?
On that one there, vote on the bids, number A, you should say something to the effect that you're gonna put that,
We're gonna table it,
there you go.
For 2 minutes.
For, 5 or 10 minutes.
okay. Then I,
Because seriously, we could go back and vote on it if we wanted.
if we decide we want to, okay, so I make a motion that we table that for now. Do we have to make a motion? Or can we just table it?
Let's just do it to be on the same.
Okay, I make a motion that we table, voting on the bids until we decide to go back to it.
Aye.
Who's seconded it?
I'll second
You
it.
second it, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, it's the way that's written, it's gonna overlap here. Mark,
Yeah.
You should have went first. You should've flipped.
Should be vote on the Betterment Committee assistance on Grundon Property. You've been in contact with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every
Joe.
day.
Dee, you wanna talk to us?
All right, I was asked to come up here and tell you about the Betterment Committee and what we've done. We formed this, actually it was the old banker, Larry Pope formed it. And there's probably was about 10, 15 of us in town. Our progress was to tear down houses like the Grundon. We ended up tearing 5 houses down, we had them burned, we had to tear them down. And I'm up here just to present how the Betterment Committee can help out the city if you wanted to go this route. What we do, excuse me, what we do is, first of all, in your situation, you have the property. How we do it is we first talk to all the utilities, get all the utilities disconnected and all that. I know that you guys are in the process of that, you're waiting for the gas to cut the gas line off. And then what the Betterment Committee did, then we talked to the fire department and see if somehow we could work out a burn for you guys to train or whatever. The volunteers that we have different kind of machinery, and we would, with help from anybody that wanted to help. It's not an exclusive club, it's whoever wants to be part of the Betterment Committee. We would cut the trees down, or have them fall on the house, and then we would, first of all, I want to tell you this, we do this for no money. We're not here to make money, we're not here to do any of that. We're not here to be by my pocket or anybody, we're here for the city of Grand Junction. So we would push everything up in that pile in that house. Before we step back once, we would actually, the Betterment Committee, we would take samples to see if there was asbestos in it at our cost. We had some people when we started donate money, and then we actually, in the 5 houses that we did, we ended up getting the scrap, and we took the scrap over on 3 or 4 of them, and then one time we had a dumpster brought over from it, and that was how we keep our fund going, was the scrap. I don't have a problem if you guys want to do, that's how we keep it going, to pay the bills. And then we would do the asbestos thing, and volunteers, we push it all up. What we always did, we cut the trees around, a couple guys with chainsaws, skid loader, we push the trees up in the house. And then we would also take all the scrap out in the yard, and we push it maybe on your gravel road or push it in a pile. And we would have the firemen burn it. And then whatever's in the basement or crawl space, we bring the light plant donates the digger truck, and we would hook up all the stuff in the basement, we pull it out and put it in your dumpster or wherever you do. And then what we had in the last 4 or 5 houses, to fill the basements, we've either taken all the concrete out, and we talked to farmers, they'll take it on their creek. And then the city of Grand Junction has a bunch of dirt out at your dump. We would take that, with your permission, and the city would help too, dump the dirt in the basement. And then one of the examples we did is wherever Will and Herrick lived, Will and Herrick right across the street where that vacant lot is, we did that, and we disked up the yard, and we had donation of grass seed. And then what we did on that one, that was a little different one, the guy came to us and paid, we had to pay for that one. He bought it on a tax sale and then saw it and said, there's no way. So we bought the taxes, and we keep track of everything. And then when we sold it to the neighbor, and basically what we had into it, a little of nothing, and you can see how she's kept it. I'm just throwing this out there. You guys can do whatever you want. I think the Betterment Committee can help you guys out. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not gonna be done in a month or 2. It's gonna, your volunteers, it'd be like on weekends, or I know some of them during the light plant would help out during the day, the city guy helped out, stuff like that. But that's just another option I just wanted to throw out. I was telling Laura that, and she said, come up here, so I had to come up here. So I'm just throwing this out to you guys. That's another option. We'd be willing to help. And we're looking for volunteers. And this, like I said, anybody that wants to be a part of the Betterment Committee can sure be part of it. It's just, we formed it to make the town a little bit better. Like I said, firemen think are very nice, and they burnt 5 houses for us. And it just, the expense wasn't very much. But I'm just, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I thought you guys bought the houses, because then you didn't have to fool with the asbestos test.
Well, what we did, we only really bought one house. What we did, another one was Linda Overture's house. Linda Overture was not gonna sell us the property, but it was such, if you remember, just so horrible. So my job with the Betterment Committee was, because I work for Lifeline, because I know, right? So I knocked on the door and I talked to her, and I said, hey, how about if we come in, it won't cost you anything, and we can take care of your house, burn it down, take care of it, we'll fix it. And it really benefits them, because they're not gonna sell it, she didn't wanna sell the property. So I don't wanna say talk her into it, we talked about it, and she let us burn the house and clean up the property.
So you didn't have to go through the asbestos test.
That is true, it's a fine line, if we own it, it's different if you own it.
Right, you don't have to go through the test.
But we test it anyway because we wanted documentation. We didn't let somebody off the street say, hey, why'd you burn that if you didn't need it?
Now, do you guys take care of capping off that sewer so ain't nothing getting back down in there?
We do it whenever you, it is just, it's just a combination of a lot of different people, and we would do that, most definitely. We have, I think 3 of them, we have the basements out, the farmers who took it, the stuff, for the creek, and then one of them was, we
just don't want stuff getting back in the sewer. huh?
No, we would cap that, and one of them we just knocked in the concrete, the bricks, and then we just put dirt on it and fill on it, and we seeded it.
And that's like down there, I got involved on it, and then over to
There you go.
Shirley and I, after it was burnt, we dug all the iron on, loaded our trailer with a Diane or Joan or somebody took the trailer, and that was part of your
Yes,
recoup
yes, most definitely.
some of the iron, so.
And that's something, like I said, it's not gonna be done in a month, because you have volunteers and stuff like this, with just bigger machinery, but that's how Betterment kind of stayed together to pay for what we did, because of the scrap. But there's a lot of scrap out there, we're not saying we want it all or anything.
We got to reclaim the alley underneath your electrical wire down there.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get down there with a truck.
Yeah, those big trees are gonna have to be cut where they fall on the house. You could maybe cut them, if you have some Keith or somebody we can talk to, they cut them when they fall on the house. We push all that stuff in the house and we just burn it. You get a guy, a couple guys with chainsaws, what we did down on Harry's is we cut all those trees and we threw it in the house and we lit it on fire. And we had to do it twice, we didn't burn everything, we had that hole, we just kept throwing in it, and we'll help, is what I'm saying, if you wanna go that route.
It could be a month or more before Black Hill gets down there to do their thing.
That's it, the first step is you gotta get the utilities out, everything's out but the gas, I was talking to the gas guy, they're on their list, they're on their list.
They don't have their own crew anymore, so they gotta go out and hire somebody, so it takes a lot longer to get something done than the gas fee.
It could be 2 weeks, it could be 2 months.
Ideally, I talked to him, he's gonna try to get it before the snow flies. If you can get that done and start moving stuff in there, when the snow comes, you could light it on fire, the fireman. I don't know what the fireman's policy is, that would be something, Brett, I don't know if you'd be willing.
If whatever we burn, whether it's in a pile or not, we require an asbestos test.
There you go. No, we would take that.
So is this group, the Betterment, are you active now?
We have not, it's about 10 years old, 8 to 10 years old. We haven't been active for about 3 or 4 years. We just kind of, I don't know, things just happen, it just happened. And then I was talking to some of the members because they really do see you guys making the effort to clean up this town. And they said, hey, you want to get this back together again? They said, I'm in. So, we have our own funds, and we have, everything's documented. So if anybody would say, hey, we have it all documented. And we're taking anybody that wants to help too. It's not anybody. Because we want to make this town a better place to live. I'm just throwing that out there.
Can you get the asbestos test done?
I can take them tomorrow if you want.
Okay, so you don't have to do anything first, you can.
Usually what I have to do is I take a roof, shingles on the roof, and then something on the siding, I guess a little wood down or whatever, but I take it, they do. And that's something that if you go that route, you can do that, so when the gas company does that, and, okay, you got those 2 things, you're ready to go. You talk to the fireman to burn, when you get the trees falling on the house, you call it those trees. And some of the people that are on this committee have bigger machinery and do stuff like that. But we're always looking. There was probably at the most, there was a lot, maybe 10 or 15 people that did it.
Rod, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say, I like the idea of that because we're getting more people in the community involved in getting the town cleaned up. And I can see a little bit of that with the tree grant that we're gonna discuss later, that I'm getting more people to volunteer to help with stuff like that. And I think this town, Rod can't do everything by himself, and we need to get more people involved somehow, somewhere.
Rod, do you have input on this that? you
I
wanna
like
share?
the idea with the Betterment Committee, because we know it's gonna get done. I'm more afraid that if we give it to one of these people, they're not gonna do everything.
Well, in what kind of timely manner, and,
Yeah, well, and I would say even if it took 6 months for them to do it, at least the community's getting involved, so. we're
Took
working
40
it.
years to get to where it was.
Yeah.
That's sad.
And there's some things you can do down there before they evacuate that gas line too.
That's right.
Right.
You can cut all the trees around and make a pile, burn with it, and if you wanted to, you know, if you had some kind of machinery, push the tires in a pile, or push some of that scrap out in a pile. But you're right, Mark, there's things you could do that before you burn it, yes.
Okay, everybody's kind of in agreement, so A, B, or C, sounds like everybody wants B.
So we need to,
Need some kind of
do you wanna?
I'm going to make a motion that we have worked with the Betterment Committee to get the Grundon property taken care of.
Proceed as a town.
Second.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
I don't know what we're gonna do about this one, we just tabled it.
Okay,
So just a second, with that being said, so that means that we're going with the Betterment Committee, and I assume that Dean and Rod can kind of work hand in hand with this. Am I kind of right with that? I mean, or am I being?
The only thing I'd like to say is with help, if, when we take that scrap, I would like, if you, just a little bit to go back to the Betterment Committee. To not, we don't want it all, we just want a little bit to keep our thing going, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say I don't think that sounds like a bad idea. I mean, we
we're
can-
gonna have other houses that we're probably gonna require that we could use their help on too, so it just serves us to help them out.
Right, I think that's fair enough.
That's more than fair.
Yeah,
But can I assume that Dean, you and Rob will kind of work together, hand in hand, and keep each other posted on what needs to
Oh,
happen?
yeah, we'll work together,
I
and
mean,
I wanna say, if anybody that's listening to this wants to help, be part of the Betterment Committee, please come down to the light plant, and, yeah, we'll take it.
I think the fire department should be involved too.
Yeah.
Well-
Talk to Brad about burning it, and
yeah, they'll work with the other people that need to be worked with.
Who's the head of this Betterment Committee?
well, it was Larry Pope, and he's gone, so it kinda went to me.
Oh, we know just the person can keep you in line.
Yeah.
Okay,
so C, we just kind of don't have to worry about because we just voted on how to proceed with this. So A, B, and C kind of lumped together and,
Or did C mean after it's all said and done and cleaned up? I would like to see what-
oh, valid point, yeah.
So here's the deal, I make a motion, we table that until it's cleaned up, and then let's figure it, then we can make.
I will second that motion.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Dean, for coming and telling
yeah,
us.
thank you. New business. Vote on Sam's Club membership authorization.
Yes. The last primary authorized person on the Sam's Club membership, to be able to change anything or do anything was Jean Toon. So we really need to update that. She hasn't been clerk for a long time. So we need to list, I think, a couple of people to be authorized on there. Then if we want to change or add names, or if something is going on with the account, this person has authorization to go in and check it, fix it,
Well,
whatever.
how do you guys go down there and get stuff? Now,
Because we're authorized as users on it, but we don't have authorization to change the name until it goes through the
why don't we
council.
just don't have it at the city of Grand Junction?
I think it is the city of Grand Junction, but I think there's gotta be it's my understanding it has to be somebody on there to check it, or if somebody needs added and removed or whatever, that's how that has to be. So I'm saying that our new clerk, when we get her, and I am saying that Laura, she works in Boone, I think that she would be a good one to be a second person on there. So I would like to make a motion to put our new clerk and Laura Lyons on as co-authorized people.
I'll
on there to
second
change
that.
it.
Aye.
Did you say aye or did you?
Oh, I said aye. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
I didn't, but I did.
Okay.
Then if she can't go down there, she can name somebody to go down and replace or.
Well, yeah, and like, the council members and stuff could go there and get stuff. It's just to call and say, hey, we need to change this, or how much is on the balance, or whatever, like when we were between
Oh.
clerks and they weren't being paid, we didn't have anybody, because we couldn't figure out who was the last person on there. Didn't have anybody that could call and get information, and that's a problem. So by putting 2 people on there to be able to call and get information and that, it will save us a headache later.
That's fast, right?
Yes.
Vote on funding for tree grant. Hillman.
Yes, I'm gonna turn it over to Terry Heffley, because he's the one that wrote a grant for the city, to the DNR, to get trees to replace the ones, some of the ones that lost during the derecho. He's handled it from day one, so take it away, Terry.
It is a reimbursement grant through the DNR and the State Forestry Service. Each of them have a maximum of $5,000. When I wrote the grant, I backed off from the total of the 10,000 in case we had to have the trees delivered. The nursery indicated that $300 to $400 would have covered delivery if we needed to go that way. Readers are temporarily scheduled to pick them up a week from today. It will be 100 trees. The amount of the grant award was $9,670.50. The only thing in addition that we might need, they recommend that there's a chemical that be mixed with like 5 gallons of water and used to go in the hole when the trees go in to help promote root development. 2, 3 jugs of that will do the 100 trees that we need, and that's gonna be about $120. So it'll be, the total with the city's match will be just under the $20,000 total. Any other questions? Right now we've got I spent about an hour and a half on the phone with one call last week, and they should be finishing up all the locates today or tomorrow. And as soon as those are done, then we'll start augering holes for those. We'd like to have all the holes ready before we plant a week from Saturday. And then we can just divide it into crews, go plant, come back and have lunch and hopefully call it a day.
Oh, a couple things I want to mention is that Grand Junction got the biggest grant.
We were the biggest grant of that program, yes.
And so we pay for these trees, and then the paperwork is sent in, and then we get this 10,000.
$9,670.50.
Right, yeah, right. Closing up to 10, yeah. So we get that back. So just so everybody out there understands that.
And that's why the Lyons Club couldn't do it. We didn't have the $20,000 to be able to pay the whole thing and wait for reimbursement.
Gotcha. Thank you for handling that.
And so if anybody's listening, we still need some help, because we'd like to not only get the holes done, we'd like to get the trees placed by the holes, so that on Saturday, all we have to do is put the stuff in the hole, put the tree down, and cover it. So please call Terry or the library if you're able to help, either on Saturday or one of the days during the week, because he can use some extra help.
We're gonna meet at the Presbyterian Church and start at 9 o'clock. And hopefully if we have enough crews, be done by noon and have lunch and everybody can go on about their day.
And I want to thank Terry for doing this.
Have you got something that's gonna bring your water along to water each one as you're going along? Fire truck? Okay,
Yeah, and I want to thank the fire department too for helping in this. Don't know what we do without you guys.
And so do you want to make a motion to?
Oh, yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the grant from the DNR for the trees.
Second.
Aye.
Vote to approve resolution 2022
You missed it.
1010-01 to add line item to software for City Hall. Hillman.
Well, yeah, we need to, we've got the library asking all the time, we've got different organizations asking, how much money do I have, how much money do I have? And the community center, we're getting money in, we're renting it out, but it's just going into the general fund. We don't know how much money they've got, and I'll be talking about that I'm gonna need some money for the community center here down the line, so, Mary is able to get this set up for us, I think, right?
I haven't talked to her about this yet, but it's my understanding that what you're wanting is to make it so that money coming in for the rental and everything for the community center is also used then on stuff that needs to repair the community center, and let's try to see if the community center is self-sufficient. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that she can set it up, and if we make it, retroactive back to the first, like July 1st, then we can really see in this next year, you know, if it's carrying itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So,
You made a motion?
Yes.
I second.
aye.
Vote to approve resolution 2022-1010-02 to hire Wendy Tolan as new clerk, city clerk at the wage of $20 per hour. Laura.
We interviewed her and we are ready to hire her. She's willing to come work for us. I make a motion to hire her at $20 an hour, Wendy Tolan.
I'll second.
Aye.
Aye. Do we know when she can come?
2 weeks.
Okay.
But with that being said, she'll need to do some training with Mary. Mary's gone right now. And so she knows it could be some evenings and weekends and stuff, and she'll come in, you know, at that point, you know,
Okay.
or when Mary's around.
Have to adjust her hours.
Yeah.
Vote to approve resolution 2022-1010-03 to pay Brian Madesen for 2020 derecho work, Hoskinson.
Okay. In 2020, we had two citizens. Actually, I'm gonna talk about them both, but I'm only doing the one for Brian Madesen right now. That were hired by Brett, who was our street superintendent at the time, to help with the cleanup. It was an emergency situation. They were told they would be paid his wage, which was $21 an hour. It's been all of this time, they still haven't been paid. When FEMA reps were here a week or so ago, and Kenny and I worked with them all day, I said to them, is it too late to get this sent in for those people? And she checked into it and she said, no, go ahead. But what they needed was to have an invoice, which we got that sent in. And then they need to be paid so that then it will be down and they have proof. And then hopefully FEMA will be done pretty quickly. So I am making a motion on resolution 2022-1010-03 to pay Brian Madesen for the 2020 derecho work. He had 75 hours at $21 an hour. The amount is $1,575. I make a motion to get him paid, then we can get it to FEMA and get it closed out.
Aye.
Abstain.
Thank you.
Vote to approve resolution 2022-1010-04 to pay Julie Hoskinson for 2020 work. Lyons.
I make a motion that we go ahead and pay Joby Hoskinson, $75, $21, $1,575. So approve the resolution 2022-1010-04, derecho work.
Second.
Abstain.
Vote on bids to repair kitchen issues at the community center, Hillman.
Yeah, back in July, the gal that does the lunchroom, cooking in the summer, let me know that one of the stoves and two of the ovens weren't working. And first I called, Jeremy Richards in to look at it, and he said it was something that he couldn't do, so I needed to get somebody else like Feld. So I called Feld to come over and look, and some gal answered the phone, and she said she'd give him the message, and that's all she could tell me. And a month went by, and I didn't hear from him, and I happened to be talking to Chad Landsman, and I was telling him about that, and he suggested I call Iowa Fire Control. They're out of Fort Dodge. And I said, okay. Well, I waited another month for Feld, and he never called, so called back. So I called Iowa Fire Control. And the guy said he'd be down the next week. So he came down, and the problem with the stove is there's a little tank up there with suppressant, and it operates on being pressurized, and the pressure was so low that it wouldn't work. And so while he was up there looking, he said, did you know that those stoves, because he looked at the other stove, aren't even hooked up to the fire alarm? Never have been. So he says, that's something you probably need to look into. So anyway, he gave me a quote to replace the little tank, the fire suppressant, of $1,000. It's not cheap. And you'll get a 3-year warranty on it. And that's the best he could do as far as a warranty. So then he also sent somebody down to give us a quote on what it would cost to hook up the stoves to the fire alarm. That guy came down the next day. I mean, these guys want our business. And that quote is $604.55. In the meantime, Wednesday, I get a call from Felton that they want to come down and inspect the fire alarms or whatever they do. And I said, well, I'll be down Friday. And I said, no, you can give me a quote, but I also want a quote on the suppression. And couldn't get it done. Didn't know when he could get it done because these guys are too busy and they don't operate that way. And I said, well, I really think you need to change the way you operate. And he pretty much said, well, good luck with your new company. And I said, okay, well, I didn't even have a chance to say, okay, he hung up. So these people would like to do the rest of the work as far as checking out the fire system. And one of the things they would do is they would replace the company from South Dakota that comes down. And he said maybe in the beginning, the annual fire alarm test, for the fire alarm, it used to be once a year, now they're recommending twice a year. So total, to have them yearly do the stuff would be $2,554.03. So we've got 3 parts we're looking here to vote on. One, to get the stove fixed at $1,000.
And stop. So that $1,000 is gonna fix the pressurized tank, and then the stove will work.
Yes.
Okay, carry on.
Then part 2 is hook up to the fire alarm, $604.55. Stop.
You said there was ovens that weren't working?
Oh, they fixed those.
Okay.
Okay,
So they thought at first it was connected to that stove, but they got it, so the stoves, the ovens work.
so all 4 of the ovens work.
Yes,
Perfect, okay.
okay,
Now, I'm gonna back you up again. The pressurized tank for $1,000 is a 3-year warranty. So does that mean if in 2 years something goes, they'll come and, do they ever come and inspect it yearly or anything like
yes,
that?
that's part of
That's
the.
part of that warranty thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, it's 25,000.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
2,504, not 25.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So,
Okay,
and then part 3, here's the thing, Paul and I talked a little bit, and, you know, I have nothing against, some companies give us great service, and that's wonderful, but I think every 3, 4, 5 years, we need to go out for bids. I think we've become too compliant, or complacent, is the word I want, and we don't know what we're paying for. We're just saying, okay, okay, okay. And we don't always take the lowest bid, but we just want to make sure we're not overpaying.
We also, on these new ones, if we're gonna try and, we need to call some people that they're working for now and check them out a little bit.
That's a good idea.
To make sure we're not getting a fast one under the table there.
Yeah,
Another thing we need to do, we need to check if we have contracts signed with that place up in, where you say South Dakota, and Fell. If we do, we need to,
well, I would say being hung up on by,
well, I'm gonna, stepping out of fire department's doing business with Fell,
I know,
because they won't return phone calls and no service. You know, it's nice, they're 30 miles away, but they're not gonna come and help you.
well, that's
Yeah.
my point.
If we get
It
this,
used to be a leader.
Oh, yeah.
if we get this line item into the community center, then that, hopefully the money that's in there will cover that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
in the future.
And here's another point I would like to make. This is one of the reasons why we need to charge the school in the summer for the lunch program. Because this is when the stove went out, was during the lunch program. That's $1,000, and I think they only pay us a little over 1,000.
We have a new superintendent, so you're gonna have to bargain with a new guy, and who knows what he's gonna.
There's no bargain to it.
well, here's the deal, we have a
It
fabulous.
belongs to us.
Yeah, but we have a fabulous building here.
Sure.
And it's not gonna be fabulous if somebody comes in here and rents it and there's no stove or no, so we want the.
What I'm saying-
If it goes up in smoke, it's not so.
What I'm saying is we don't want to let the school dictate to the board.
Well, no, but I'm saying we've got to do what we've gotta do to maintain this building. This is,
Right.
I can't tell you how many, I mean, Dean and I had a thing up here 2 weeks ago. Lots of people from Jefferson were in awe of this place. They didn't need to, but they came to the kitchen and they were in awe of it. I mean, and so I just wanna see it kept up. I don't wanna see it go down.
Yeah.
That line item's gonna help a lot.
But do we need to check and see about the contracts first before we get something else? So I would like to table this so somebody can check on those contracts. I don't wanna get, see what we have to do for that.
Well, we'll see if Phil calls me
Right,
back,
there we go, yeah.
We
because,
should have something in file or something, shouldn't we? You never know.
We gotta get this going because somebody might wanna cook a turkey out there.
Well, the ovens
we do,
work.
and
The ovens
we're due in October to have the fire system inspected, so
Okay.
let me, tomorrow's Tuesday, let me see if I can get a hold of Phil and see if there's any contract. Let me also get a hold of Iowa Fire Control, get 2 customers that they service, see what those customers. And,
So are we tabling this then until November?
well, I kind of like to go ahead and get the stuff handled. Is there a way that,
Okay, depending on what she finds out about the contracts or something like that.
Okay, here's the deal, if there's no contracts with them, let's move forward with this.
yeah,
And if there is contracts, then that's gonna be a whole nother ballgame, I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah.
Okay,
So I make a motion that, just what I said,
Depending on
depending on the contract.
contract.
you made a motion, did you second it, Kenny?
Yeah, all right, whatever.
Okay,
I,
aye.
Vote on bids for white rock and gravel to use for alleys.
Okay, I went to 3 places. Hamilton's no longer, it's a new company now, and you have to call Des Moines to even get anything approved. They have no gravel, and if you take white rock, you have to pay for 30 ton, and you have to provide your own transportation. They're no smaller than 30 ton load and $16 a ton. You have to go get it. Fort Dodge, it's $16 a ton and you have to go get it. No gravel prices available. Get it from Greene County, Wade over there. He'll deliver it. It's $7.25 a ton for gravel. He'll deliver it right to where we want it for $9.25. That's hard to beat. Also with the white rock, with the fines, 1 ton or 1 inch square rock, $16.10 per ton. He will deliver it for 17 ton, $17.10 per ton. But he would ask that we take 30 tons at once, so he doesn't have to keep running over here with a truckload. So I think we ought to make a motion to accept the Greene County.
30 tons is not very much anyway.
What's that?
30 ton is not very.
No, but we're just gonna get 2 or 3 more truckloads of gravel. We're doing some alleys. And the white rock is really not, we got some holes along the road and some other places for it.
I will second the motion to go with the bid for Greene County for both the gravel and the white rock delivered.
I don't think we should have to check on this for another year unless the price of dressing could go up. I mean, this is something I don't want to have to go, every time we want to get gravel, we have to go bid.
So we're gonna get a few loads of gravel, is that what you're
I'm
saying?
gonna get 2 or 3 loads of gravel, and I'm gonna get just 1 side dump full of white rock.
And in 3 months, you might need more gravel, might need more white rock, and you're saying you don't wanna go get bids, you just wanna be able to say, hey, let's go.
Right, it takes a month by the time we go through this process.
Yeah, but I'm agreeing with you, I say,
Yeah.
I don't need to argue with you, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm perfectly fine.
I don't think we're gonna beat that, but they're not trying to take us to the cleaners, and he has agreed to come over this summer, and we'll probably have to take it to him. He's gonna take all of that cold patch from many years gone by that people left out there and never used, and it didn't happen under Brett's watch, all of it. I mean, it's been there for years. There's probably at least 3 big dump truck loads of it. He's gonna take it, we just gotta haul it over and here, grind it up, get rid of it.
Did you have a question, Mark?
When you talking away, do we need to start putting a bug in his ear about salt and sand?
Already talked to him about that. He said the stuff we got out there probably ain't gonna be worth too much.
But are we gonna be able to get it from him
Yes.
this year? Is that gonna?
Doesn't sound like, he's kinda like, it might not cost nothing. So. And here's the other,
Because before you know it, we're gonna be needing.
Okay, so Kenny's making a motion.
yes, to accept Greene County, yeah.
Okay, Kenny's making a motion, I'll second it then.
Aye.
Department reports, mayor.
Oh,
No,
no,
we got
one
one more.
Oh, liquor license, I checked that off real quick.
Yeah, there you go. Well, this should be easy. We got a notification that the 30-yard line is up for renewal for their liquor license. The effective, it's renewal like the 15th of December, so I make a motion that we renew their liquor license.
Second.
Aye.
Thank you.
Keep business, man.
Only thing I got, I haven't heard from the DNR about the sewer or anything. Has Dave been hold of you, Dave Lane? I told him to get a hold of you.
The ed bay didn't say nothing about that.
Okay. He's gonna try and school you into reading the pumps.
Oh, he's already done that. Yeah, you're talking about that.
But we got this DNR thing hanging over here and I haven't heard a word about it.
There hasn't been any
So
emails
nothing's coming
come
in.
in, nothing seen.
Have we heard any more about the pumps? That they're supposed to come and work on the pumps? from the lightning strike. We're only running on one.
I haven't heard a thing about that either.
We'll check into it again tomorrow.
That would be something that,
Dave.
Dave Gleam
Yeah,
would
I'll-
probably know. a little bit
I'll
more.
call
That's all I got. It's
Okay.
council.
I got just a few things here. First of all, I just want to recognize some of the volunteers that do a lot for the town and never, ever get enough recognition. Terry Heffley, he does a lot of stuff. We've already recognized him. He left on the trees. But also, he's the one that's been taking care of the flag at the community center, I think. So he kind of watches when it needs to be half-mast, whatever. Another person I would like to say a big thank you to is Becky Freeman, Rod's wife. She does a lot of volunteer kind of helping him, sometimes driving the truck, pitching in where she can. She certainly doesn't have to, but we appreciate that help. Dean Lyons and the light plant help a lot with the tree work, and we appreciate that for them. Also, I would just like to thank my husband Keith for all of the hours that he has donated on tree work and everything like that. He gives a lot of free advice, skill, a lot of hours helping, and never gets recognition, never asks for anything. He just helps, and he deserves a big thank you. It's tiring. Tree work is tiring.
Yes.
So, that, and then I just wanted to say all the council members now and the mayor have dump keys. So we should all be available to get into the dump if the dump is closed. Just get in touch with one of us. And the snow ordinance, I'll go ahead and tell about that. We're gonna be putting that in the paper to go into effect. When would you say, Rod?
Probably around November 1st.
Around November 1st. So you will see those, and it is an ordinance, so you will be fined if you don't keep your sidewalks clean.
And I want to thank Sherry for everything she did for the fire department and the fire feed, or not the fire feed, the. She says she's not a leader, but you ask her to do something, the way she takes off, and there was so much food there, it was
I
unbelievable.
don't know, she was my neighbor for a long time. I'm not sure all that's quite, I'm not sure about that.
Well, she's a wonderful person to ask for help, because she comes through, even though she's a very busy person, so thank you, Sherry.
I need to ask a question about trees. I hate to go back to that, but I get my phone over there at Jefferson, and the lady that works in there is a Hatfield, or was a Hatfield. She's in that house where Armstrong died. Somebody needs to determine if the tree on the north side of her house is cities or not.
Okay,
And it is a big tree.
it's too bad.
Won't take long to Google it.
Well, I don't know how to do it, but I told her I would get her an answer, and I was over there today, and I said, it's close, I don't know one way or the other, but we'll get you an answer.
If it's not marked, and I think Dean could help Rod probably, I don't know what that,
You get into the computer and it draws a line out.
beacon, yeah, would be able to tell us,
Or Google Maps.
Yeah, we'll look it up, we'll look it up.
okay.
I told her we'd get her an answer.
Because I think that there's a couple down there too that Billy Smith has asked about on her property too, that I don't know. They're really close, so we need to check into those too. But I mean, we're working
I told her
rods
if
down the trees.
that we wouldn't be getting to it anytime soon.
Well, you know, we're slowly getting to them.
Sure.
The tree guy comes in and slaughters a bunch, and then we work and get them cleaned up. We do have a lot of trees down in the park right now because we needed them down so that they can put the new trees up without slaughtering the new ones. We've got some more, so yeah, it's a slow process.
One thing I had was a meter for the diesel tank out of the sewer plant. He had to order one, and I didn't make it out there today to see if it's in the area. He didn't look, notice.
Okay.
I'll check tomorrow, but
Okay.
Joe he's getting one. The one he had, he didn't like, so he wanted to get a different, the one that matches the other one.
Good.
I think the only thing that I have to add or would like to discuss is it's time for grants to be thought about. We can start getting grants ready through Green County, and they were fabulous last year. You know, we got the pool, we got the playground equipment, the fire department got great new gear, I believe, through that. I think we need to, as a whole, and I want this to go out to the citizens of Grand Junction, that if there is something that they feel like money could be used for, let us know. Put it in the Dropbox, let one of the council members know, and we can discuss it. I don't know that, like, Mickey, you do one, I do one, Mark does one, different grants, maybe we need to collaboratively come up with something that would be great, that the city needs, that, you know, we should do. So, I'm just asking everybody to kind of put your thinking caps on what is important for our town to do and what can we do to, you know, with the grant, you know, assistance. So, be thinking we're gonna have to come together and write one or two.
Yeah, yeah. 'cause
We
I-
get one person that kind of be in charge of grants, you mean?
Maybe, but I just don't wanna be writing a grant for something and then Mickey writing a grant for something and then maybe neither one of us get it because one, or.
Becky might be a lot.
Yeah, well, and they've got like the one that's up to 35,000, and then they've got the one that's over 35,000. So, you know, maybe a couple people on one of them and a couple people on the other one, and let's see what we can get done on that.
And there's no need for Paul and I to write a grant for the road, for that guy to come fix the roads, if Kenny and Mark are writing a grant to fix the roads. That would be, you know, not, let's talk about it.
If I write a grant, you would probably have gravel.
Well, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I just think let's talk about this, let's get some things, you know.
Easier to maintain.
Moving right along, street maintenance and compliance officer.
I was gonna talk about the grants for Main Street. I think next year, if we could get the rest of Main Street done, that would make everybody happy. Plus, it really would make the city look a little bit better, especially if we get the grocery store cleaned up.
Yeah.
The grocery store, we got about another 30 days left and we'll be going to court on that. I do have a total of 4 properties that we'll be going to court on to try to gain control of, if you want to say that. Fire department, we need to probably get with you on the gas out there so I can keep track of what I'm using and what you're using. I don't know how you want to do that. Joey?
I think we'll come up with a form.
Well, I've got-
Sign-in log or something, I mean, just go in there, truck number 53,
On
the
page,
day's date, the time, and how many gallons.
on this back page here, that's what I do on this back page. But maybe if you guys could.
It just makes it easier
The first
for
of
you.
the month, give me something like this, and then I could just put it in my report. Sure. It just helps with the budgeting, knowing next year what we need to budget.
We need to know about number 1.
Yeah. I started a new thing, it's a weekly chore schedule. And I think this will help the city know what I'm doing every day. Any little work that it's getting in. But that's really about it.
It'll also help on the workman's comp,
Yeah.
information that we need at the end of the year. That will be really beneficial. So that looks nice. Thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice.
And people should look out there at the sewer plant, you can't believe how great it looks. You just need to decide where you want your white rock at.
And the
Where
dump,
sand used to be.
the dump too looks
Yeah.
really nice. And so far, everybody's doing a pretty good job about getting everything up close. There've been a few incidences of stuff dumped right at the gate that I guess they were just mad because we blocked it.
We
But
don't have that problem anymore, I don't think.
I think it was just a start. People didn't know, so we'll move forward from there. But it looks nice. You're keeping it pushed together now.
And that's the other thing too, do you guys have an idea, just,
Looking at November,
November, okay. You want me to give you a call in November and just?
I'm planning on it, for the November training.
Okay.
It's gonna burn for a week.
Once the,
It's
once the
pretty dry
crops
too,
are
it's
out.
probably gonna burn real fast.
If you pile it up and you burn all down, it'll burn for a week.
Yeah, I can't reach it.
Okay.
You got anything else?
No,
Library? Fire department?
The only thing I got is we'll have the fire station open, serving hot chocolate and stuff tonight at Trunk or Treat. Thank you again to everybody who provided the meal, really appreciate that.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
But I just wanna say one big thing, I think Rod, also that sign coming in on 30, you weed eated